Hi everybody, this is Tina with Rehatch Designs. I thought I would just come on real quick and give you an update on my organizing my craft room. I gave you a partial tour of where I was at and I'm almost done, but I had to wait for some things to come in the mail and in Amazon. And what happened with our big storm is everything got a little delayed, so I should be ready to do my craft room reveal probably in the next day or two. So in the meantime, I wanted to share some tips that I had about organizing, and I thought that that might be a fun thing to do. Just things that I'm going through the process and what I've learned, and what might help you. First off, I had a really, I don't know, rough time. I went ahead and went through all of my drawers and everything else, and I realized I had a lot of organizing things, but not a lot that really worked for me. I'm going to show you this when I'm done, but I have this pile of things that I bought to be more organized, and I really think, you know, they probably served me well at times, but I think I have found things that work for me better. And you know, of course, you know, you've got to use what you have, but I do think that the way I was doing it is I would just buy a whole bunch of organization things, and then I would make those things fit in whatever I bought. And I think I did it backwards. I really should have just first, you know, take everything out of the room if you can, figure out what you have, and how much organization, you know, things you'll need. Because I actually found I had bought a bunch of stuff on sale at Joann's and some stuff on Amazon and whatever. I actually found I didn't need the things I bought, most of them. And then the things that I really needed, I went out and got later, because the things I bought didn't really work. Okay, so you really need to figure out what you need first before you buy it. I mean, that's probably the best way to do it. So, and then of course some of the old things I had worked fine for what I was using them for, and some didn't. But I did find that it seemed like I had a lot of organization things that I bought, not just recently but before, and you know, it really didn't serve the purpose, and it wasn't helping me, let's put it that way. So getting into that, I'm going to show you some of the things that I think helped me a lot. Okay, first off, I love, my favorite way to store my ephemera and is in one of these boxes, and I love these because even the ones that are colored, you can see through them, you know, you can put your stuff in them. I get them on sale. I never pay full price for these. Now you can have the cases by themselves if you want, or you can you know, get the whole box. I like the box because I have 4 of them and they work great, and you just put your stuff in there and then you put your box in there and you're done. And then I have them stacked on my shelf, and I will link my other first part of my craft room tour there. But the other thing, there are other things that you can use to do that. I don't know if you've gone to the dollar store, but they have these little containers with these lids on the top, and these to me are really cool for storing things, and they stack. You can stack, I don't know if I don't have my other one with me right now, but they do stack on top of each other. They have this little rim, and you can stack these, and to me that's a cool way of storing things. I actually had bought a bunch at Christmas, and I had this crazy idea that I was going to make cookies or peanut brittle. I don't remember what it was, and I ended up not using them for that, but I actually have a lot of my Christmas things in them, and I have them in storage, but they do stack on top of each other, and you could put these up on a shelf or something like that to just kind of put your stuff in, or put your bigger things in, supplies in, or whatever. You know, there's always the storage that you can buy. You know, you can get it at the dollar store or whatever, and there's, I mean, I had tons of this stuff, tons and tons of it, and I did use it a lot in the room. But the other thing that I found is thinking of things unconventionally, and this is like your soda can thing that I got at the dollar store, but you can get these anywhere. These were great to put in drawers or even on a shelf, because of this lower lip here, you can just grab this easily and take stuff with you. And let me get one of these things out of my drawers here so you can see what I'm talking about. I'm just reaching behind me, and I have all of this, you know, my mixed media stuff, and it's in a drawer, but I can just pick it up like that and take it to my desk and put it back. And I think when you have things like that, storage wise, I think you're more apt to put things away. So I really like that. So think of, you know, I know those things are for storage, but think of them differently. You know, like for instance, this is just one of these little, you know, cheap little photo things. And then, let me open this up. These are so cool because the size of these work really well, and of course this piece of paper comes out, so you could decorate this any way you want right here, you know. But what you can do is you can put things in there and hold them. I have one that I have stamps in, but that works great for that. Okay, and you know, these are, well, I guess now $1.25, but you can store a lot in these, and you know, that is a great way to store it. That doesn't take a lot of work or money or effort on your part. The other thing that I have, and let me get them real quick because I forgot to bring them down. I have, and I did this on my channel, I bought these at a thrift store, and it's just an old photo album, you know, the kind with the plastic sleeves. But this works amazing for all kinds of stuff, postcards, and you know, just all kinds of stuff that you may want to store. And it's easy. I have a lot of them. I'll have like an original, and then if I made copies, I'll have those behind there, and I put them in there. And I have them, I had decorated them. They were like a flowered thing, and I did this on my page. I'll try and remember to link that video, but basically all I did is cover them. And I could have left them the way they were. I just have one for Christmas, and then I have one that is has nature stuff in it. But my point is that, you know, it's basically, you know, just the same thing as this if you can't find them. But if you look in thrift stores, you can find these all the time. And I think that that is a great way to store things. This is, remember the old, you know, the lift up photo things, okay? Well, this is just pages, and I bought these separately. The pages, I saw Andrea Artie Mays do this, and I was like watching television at night, and I practically fell out of the bed because I thought, wow. That is just so brilliant, because these are die cuts, and I just put them in there, and you know how your die cuts, you have them all, and if you put them in, they get all mangled, and especially the really, delicate ones. So these are just pages that I bought at a thrift store, and I bought it because they were big. I like the idea that they were big, but the old photo, I don't even know how many of those things I've thrown away. I don't have any more because I took all my pictures out of them and I threw them all away, but you still can find them. You can tell how old these were, right? So I actually had to glue part of this back together, but it is just really a great way to store die cuts, especially these kind of delicate ones like that. It works really, really well for that. So like all these little flowers and things, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it was one of those moments where I went, holy, you know what? And even though I had them in the little plastic containers, they'd get all tangled up and I'd have to sift through them. Well, now I just can look. Anyway, I want some more big things like this, but that's all I have left. I think about all those albums I got rid of, and but anyway, and this is like these are just what do you call those, end trim pieces and stuff like that, and that's why I kind of wanted these bigger sheets. But if I can't find them, and this just sits up on my shelf, and I lay it in there, and it's works just fine. So so kind of just think about those kind of things, because they almost work better, I think, sometimes than the things that you can buy to store things. One of the other things I like to do for ephemeras, these are these little containers you can get at the dollar store. I know Walmart, everybody sells these. But what's so cool about them, okay, is that you can just store things in these little pockets like that and easily get to it, okay? And it has like little labels that come with it. So, I mean, this is a good way to store ephemera that's relatively inexpensive, that makes it super handy. So anyway, that's another way that you can store it. So I also have some of these cardboard recipe boxes, and I actually am going to use this to do little journaling cards and stuff that I've already made. I want to decorate it, but it has the dividers in it, and you can easily use that to put things in also. I mean, so I think I paid $1.25 for this, and it also had recipe cards in it, but I'm using the recipe cards somewhere else, like I'll use them in journals and stuff, but I mainly wanted it just for the box. Okay, so I'm going to just use this box, and I'm going to decorate it a little bit, but I want to use it just to put some journaling cards that I make in here, or tags or whatever, and just store them in here. But you could store anything in that. Alright, so the other thing I wanted to kind of talk about is ribbon storage, which is a nightmare for me, and I think it is for a lot of people, because it is so hard to fit all your ribbon to where you can get to it. And if you look at the video that I posted before, I had bought the hang on the wall ribbon storage thing, and when I realized that I was going to have to take it off the wall to actually take the spool, because you put it on the wall and then the part that lifts off the ribbon, okay, well, that was on the back, so I would have to take it off the wall to take the spool off. And so, okay, if the spool is empty, even if you were going to go up there and measure, take your piece off and go back to your desk or do whatever, okay, so what happens when it's empty? Then you got to go and, take it off the wall, take the ribbon off, do all that. I'm not doing that. So I'm taking those back. But what I found instead is this cool, and I have 3 of them up, or no, 2 of them up, and I decided I needed one more, and this one's smaller than the other one because I have less space to put it in. But this is, I think maybe I'll just zoom out a little bit. Let me see. Let me go right about there is good. Okay, so really this is a little, I don't know what it's used for really, but I guess it's, you can hang it up and put anything in it. You could put, gosh, clothing in it. I think I saw it, they had it like in a nursery, but then I saw it also, they used it in like a restroom. And see, it has these little boxes. Let me show you how you put this together. It comes kind of folded up, and then you put these little side things in. Okay, and they just go in like that. It's kind of hard for me to do it upside down. Here, okay. There, it's easy to put together. I'm just making it look difficult. All right, there we go. And then this one goes right here. See, like that. It just goes right in the side. It just tucks right in there. I've got it kind of twisted so I can't really see what I'm doing. But anyway, it goes right in there. Just like that. And then this bottom piece just, oh, I moved my camera again. It's right above me, so it's really, it's kind of low. My new setup is a lot different. So, but anyway, then you have this little box thing, and you can just drop your ribbon in. And the way I work is I pull my ribbon out, but you know, you can put your ribbon in there. You'll be able to see it. Bigger spools will be able to fit in there if you want to drop, you know, other stuff in there. If you wanted to put your laces or whatever. I just think it's a kind of a really cool way to do ribbon storage that makes sense to me, because you know, and it can look pretty too because you can see through it. But there's like all kinds of things that you could store in this. I mean, and you know, it's not taking up floor space. So, and it doesn't take a lot of wall space, because I don't think this thing's very, it's not really that big. So I would say it's, you know, 12 inches wide. I will put the link. I got it on Amazon, but I think these things are great. So that is another cool storage thing. The other thing that I have problems with are stencils. And I'm not kidding, guys. I have been so terrified of my stencils being messed up, you know, so I kind of wanted to figure out a way that I could store my stencils, and I want to show you what I came up with. And this came from going through all my drawers, and I had all this extra storage stuff, right? So I'm sitting here thinking, okay, this is an old scrapbook thing where you store paper and all that kind of, you know, thing, and it has these big giant pockets, and it's meant for 12 by 12. But anyway, this is a great way to put it in there, and you can just flip through here and find your stencils. And these are my kind of bigger mixed media type stencils that I use. I don't use them really for anything else, but I kind of put them in here and categorize them. And so that's one way I stored my stencils. But then I have some really intricate ones, and I had this other thing, and as far as if you can buy that or not, I have no idea, because I think I probably bought it, geez, 15-20 years ago. But I do know they have similar things out there. Look in Hobby Lobby, scrapbook.com, whatever. But this I know that you can get. These are from the dollar store. These little things here are the greatest. They come, do they come 2 to a pack? I think they come 2 to a pack. So the way these things work are they have the little separate tab for the holes, so it's really sturdy, and then it has the opening here, and you could use, for this you could use just a regular 3-ring binder. You don't have to have a special big thing like this, okay? I wanted something big because I have some really big stencils. But for your smaller stencils, these work great, and I'm sure you can get these probably even at Walmart and stuff too. But it's a separate, you know, this little tab makes it stronger. And here I have some other stencils. I haven't taken it out of the package yet, but that just goes in there. This is, I have paper whenever I do die cuts. A lot of times I use that stuff for stencils, so I have those in there. Now, this is just some of my stencils that I just put them in there. And then these are some more paper stencils. And then I had, this is some of my old Creative Memories little bags that I had. It's kind of curled up because I've had them for so long. And I put these in this 3-ring binder. They didn't come with it because I thought, well, gosh, I mean, this would be a great way to store some stencils. So look for your old stuff. And anyway, so these pockets are great for storing my stencils here, right? And I have these, all the ones that would fit, I put in there. Then these pockets, and I remember it came with these pockets, and then you could buy extra ones. These big pockets that go in a binder, these are fantastic for storing your stencils, okay? Now the other thing that I bought is some of these cellophane 12 by 12 packet, these, you know, that, because I will tell you this about intricate stencils, that if you put them together, multiple ones together, they will get tangled and they will rip and stuff like that will happen. In fact, I already have some that have ripped a little bit. But these are, you know, reusable and closable, and you can take them out of there. And, you know, the big thing is you don't want them to get tangled up or bunched up or any of that kind of stuff. And so this cellophane keeps them, like if I have multiples in here, which I do, okay, keeps them from getting tangled with each other, okay? And I also use this when I have my scrapbook paper, the way I have it filed in the in my room, which I'll show you in the room tour. Whenever I have scraps of that paper, I just put the scraps in here, and then I put it right next to that paper, and you know, that way it's all together. And or I'll put and loose papers. If I have loose papers and scraps, I just put them right next to that pad, and I can find them. But for my stencils, this is fantastic for your stencils because then they don't get tangled. And I have some really intricate stencils, like this one I use for mixed media. Well, actually, I use most of them for mixed media, honestly, guys. That's what I use most of them for. But, you know, I do use some in my journals. But, like, let's see. Like, I have these, and, you know, these are really intricate. And if they get tangled up, guess what? They're no good. Like this one, oh my gosh. Super intricate. And if you have them in the cellophane, you can put more than one in, because otherwise I could only put one in each of these little containers because it would get tangled up. But I just put these, I'll show you when I do my big tour, but I just put this book laying flat in a big drawer, and that keeps all of them safe and sound and not tangled up, okay? So that's kind of how I store my stencils. And the other thing I would have used if I could not have found that, and I may still use this, let me get it. This is from like an office store. They have these plastic like things where these you can put stuff in them. in between them, and then in front. This is a cool thing, and this is in the office section. So you can find something like that. Look around different sections and see if you can find things that will work for you, okay? I just decided I was going to try and keep them in one place, but I was going to put some of my most used stencils in here because I could definitely see how that would work, okay? The other thing is, for my big stencils, I had this divider that I'm not using anymore, and I know they still sell these for, you know, your different colors of scrapbook paper, and it's big. You know, it holds 12 by 12. I think it's like 13 by 13, or maybe even bigger than that. But you could definitely put them in here, okay? That would have worked also, okay? So, you know, look at things, you know, differently when you go out and look for stuff, because you can definitely utilize maybe even stuff you already have. Okay, so one of the other things is die storage, and I know we all have used the magnets, you know, the sheet magnets, and they're sticky, and then you get them and then you put your, oh, my little thing fell off here, but, and then you just take it and you have the plastic sleeves that you buy. There's Avery, and I buy mine from this checkout store brand on Amazon because they're a little cheaper, and I've actually been buying the bigger ones because the storage container that I use, and I'll show you, it'll fit in there. And this storage container is a refrigerator storage container. It's very sturdy. It's nice and long, so I can fit a lot in there. And I have it just sitting in one place, you know, because once you fill these up with dies, this heavy. But I started buying the bigger one, and I'll tell you, and that's just so that I could fit some of the bigger dies on there. And so, but I have it all mixed up. I'm not going to throw away the ones I already have. But anyway, if you don't do that, you could certainly take just a clear little shoebox thing, and you could use something like that. This is from the dollar store, and you could store them right in there. You don't need that thing. I don't remember how much it was. Maybe, I don't know, maybe $7 or $8. So you could use something like this. In fact, this is what I did use prior to getting that. But anyway, so of course you use the magnet sheets. The only thing is these magnet sheets are kind of expensive, and if you have a lot of dies, it can get kind of expensive. And the way that you do it, you know, you just take your die, and here's the magnet sheet, and you just put it on there, right? It goes on there. And then, I mean, some people store them without putting them in plastic. I like them in there because stuff always falls. And I just fold the tab under, and then I'll just stick them in there. And as I said, you can just put them in a plastic container and have them. You can make dividers. I made my dividers just out of heavy cardstock, or I've heard of, you know, you can make them plastic or whatever, laminate them. I don't get too fancy, but, you know, anyway, that's a cool way to do it. But the magnets, as I said, are kind of expensive. So I'm going to show you a little trick that I did. This is black cardstock, just plain old black cardstock, and it's, you know, the heavier weight the better, but you know, anything, and it doesn't have to be black, it could be any color you want. I just got black because it made sense to me. And what I did is I just cut strips, and I don't know if you can tell, but there are just strips on here, okay? And the reason I did that is I realized you did not need to have a whole sheet of the magnet, right? So basically I got twice as much out of this one little thing as you would normally get by putting these strips on here, okay? If you have a lot of small little intricate pieces, then you may want to use a whole sheet, but by doing it this way, I actually cut my cost in half. And also what I started to do, I know some people leave it in the packaging, but I just started taking the packaging and putting it, the name of the die and who it was from and everything on the back. I would just glue it on there, any information that I needed, and that keeps me from having to, you know, keep all the packaging and, you know, worrying about that. So I just put it in there, and then I can, again, this will fit in the shoebox that size, okay? But right now, like I said, I started using the bigger size just because there's bigger dies and things like that, and I also use the same ones. I store my stamps in the bigger size containers, and what I do for that is I just basically I cut off, you know, I cut this almost in half really, and I just use this for my stamps too. I might invest in CD cases, but I don't know. I just don't know if I want to spend the money. We'll see. But anyway, I just thought I'd give you that tip, that you don't have to use the whole magnet, because, you know, it really, most of the time you don't need it, okay? The other thing I wanted to talk about is, oh, drop that. Dropping more and more stuff. Hold on. Okay. These little storage containers, I know a lot of people use them, but I absolutely love them. They come in all different kind of sizes and all different colors, and I use the larger sizes for projects. I just, you know, fill it up with everything that I need for a project, and because I do have the plastic iris containers for project, but a lot of times I don't need the big container for a whole project, and I can fill all of this up and, you know, have almost everything I need and take it with me. And they're see-through, you can see through them. I mean, even though this has a color, I get the colors because I kind of color code things, and it doesn't always work out that way. I end up mixing it all up half the time anyway, but I love using these, and I would strongly recommend them. They're not that expensive. I can link where I got mine, and I bought the different colors the last time, but in my drawers, and I will show you that when I get to this one's kind of wrinkled, this one's sitting out, but I have a filing cabinet, and this fits in my filing cabinet, so I can file these, okay? And it does fit your 8.5 by 11 paper. So I use this for whenever I have digital kits and I want to keep them together, and I just put them in there, and then I have it in a filing cabinet, and this size works great because it fits in a filing cabinet, okay? And again, they're clear so you can see through them, and I think these are great ways to file. Also, you can use this is from the dollar store. This is similar, and I use this mainly for I have a thing for, like, I still do some scrapbooking, and I will divide up my pictures in here in one of these things, okay? And I divide it up kind of how I want to do a page, okay? So I'll have whatever pictures I want on this page or that page or whatever. And so then I'll have my pictures divided up, and then I'll have other different ephemera or anything else, and then I'll also have a lot of times what I have is I'll have little memorabilia and things like that go in there, and so I will put all of that in there. And these I like because I have this gusset, okay, and you can pick these up occasionally there. They're not always there. What I do is when I see this stuff, you know how the Dollar Tree is, you got to get it when you see it. But I have seen them These sold at other places than office supplies and things like that. I haven't looked on Amazon, but they were good. But they have like a nylon gusset, and that's what makes these really cool, is because they can hold a lot. Because by the time you start putting your, you know, your brochures or, you know, whatever else you buy with you, then that thing gets pretty hefty. So that's a cool way to store things. And, you know, by the same token, you can use that for any of your junk journaling stuff too. So anyway, that's what I like to use. These things are great. These come 3 to a pack. I don't know if I have one open. Let me open this one. Oh, here's the other ones in different colors. This is the smaller ones too. And I only had the black ones before, and I haven't color coded things, but I'm going to go back in and probably kind of do a color coded deal. I don't label a lot of things when I can see through them, because I can just look and see what they are. But, you know, sometimes if I color code them, then I know that certain colors are this or that. Like this could be Halloween and fall, and this could be my, you know, floral and pink. I don't know. But anyway, I did get some more, and I got them color coded. And the other thing is, these are not, you know, as thick. It doesn't have the gussets or anything, so you couldn't really do like a whole project. But the fact that they're not real thick and they're fairly inexpensive, and I do know you can get these on Amazon too. This is a great way to store scraps. You can put this like next to your, or in with your 12 by 12 paper, or I actually have this in my filing cabinet where I have my scraps and I have it filed by color, and it's in the file, I just dump stuff right in there. Okay, so I have my 8.5 by 11 paper filed in this filing cabinet, and then I have one of these in each one of those drawers, so the scraps just go right in there. I kind of keep them all in one little bin, and then I go and I just dump them in there, and this fits easily inside, you know, a file folder or something, because it's not big and bulky. So these are cool for that. The other thing, and I think this is just obvious. I mean, people know this, but especially I think junk journals. Where's my other box down here? Oh, here it is. It's just, don't forget boxes, like, you know, especially really cool, you know, heavy duty. This had a Beats thing in there, you know, your phone, little phone things like that, because these are sturdy. I use these all over in my drawers when I was organizing, because they're so sturdy. I had all kinds. I saved these forever, and I can't even tell you how many places I used all these different boxes. And this is just the lid here, but there's no way I would throw this wonderful box away. It's so sturdy, right? This is a box that I covered, and I got this eyelash trim. I don't know, eyelash paper. I'm thinking it's like a contact paper. I can't open that for some reason, because it fits really tightly now that I put the paper on there. But if I can open it, I can't open it. All right, so this box was what I bought a flat iron in, and it came in this really, really cool box. And so if you can see parts of it up there. And anyway, I love this. Both of them are about the same. You know, it's a pretty tight fit. So I'm not even sure. I kind of have an idea what I might do with it is I might actually file ephemera in here, things that I've made, and use them, you know, separately and not put the top on. And I can just put this up on a shelf because I decorated it, right? Somewhat. You could put paper on there. But don't forget these really sturdy boxes because, you know, obviously you can use them for so many things. All right, so let's see if I have anything else. I don't remember if I do. Oh yeah, of course you can always use plain old baggies, and trust me, I have used plain old baggies for a long time. That, you know, tried and true. You can divide things up that way. But another thing that I like to use for, you know, kind of bulky things. You remember when you get your sheet sets or your quilts or whatever, right? You always get these really cool, I think cool. I've got this tag here. There's a couple different sizes, but these really cool bag things, okay? And I actually have in several of my drawers, I have some 8.5 by 11 paper stored in some of these that I've copy dyed and stuff. You know, it has a little zipper, and it's great for kind of bulky things. I mean, don't throw those away. These are great ways to store things. I don't know. I love these things. I never throw them away. And I don't always use them right off the bat. What happens is I end up kind of, you know, this one's, I think, a different size. But they always, your sheets and your, you know, pillowcases, all kinds of stuff. They always come in these curtains, you know, or tell family and friends, don't throw those away because they work really well. And the fact that they're not rigid, sometimes you can squish them in places. They're great for material. They're great for like storing lace and things like that, and ribbons and cool things like that. Like even that little ribbon carrier that I had, you could put stuff in there and then just drop this in one of the little sheet things because it would fit in there. But anyway, don't get rid of those, okay? This thing I got at the dollar store, and I use these, and they come in different sizes. This is the smallest size. I have lots in the bigger size. Let me see if I have any handy over here. I don't think I do. Oh, yes, I do. This is the large size. This one I think is the small. But the reason these are cool is I know a lot of us, we have stuff in a closet and we buy like material and things that we want to use, and it's bulky and it takes up a lot of room. You can take this and hang this in your closet, and it is heavy enough, trust me, I'm heavy duty enough that it works, and you can hang this up by this little thing right here. So you can put your material in, you know, close it up, because it's just basically a giant baggie, right? And just put it in there, and then you can have it all filed, you know, nice and neat in a nice little row, and that it works really well for that. And I've done that. The large size, it's a little bigger than I like, but I don't know. And they don't always carry them, but it's the same. It's just like with everything they have. You kind of have to. This is a really large. I think it comes. This is one bag, but these are huge. Absolutely huge. Okay, you can't really tell from here, but they're big. But if you have stuff like that, this works. It has like a reinforced top up here, So it really does work. And you can use that like that. I don't really use the big ones for that. I use the little ones, but if you wanted to, you certainly could do that. But anyway, that is something that I really love to use in my closet. Move that aside. And then the last thing I kind of wanted to talk to you about is they have these really cool, now y'all have probably seen these. They have these little parasol things. And they don't spin or anything, but I'm opening it up. I'm missing a leg. Let me turn my other leg. Okay. Super easy to put together. You just put the legs in. I can get that one in there flat. There we go. Super easy. Has like a little thing that snaps. There we go. Okay, they're all in there. Oh, a little tiny piece fell off the side. Okay, so then you got to put this on the top, right? And then that goes right there, and right there, and then right there. And that's all fun, and you can use that for instance, for like these, your blending brushes like that, or you can take them and use them with your paint brushes. You know, you can stack all your paint brushes in there. Let me get a few more. You can see what I'm talking about. Just like that. I have one of these by my sink. On a like a drying mat, and I just dry my brushes in one of these. Okay, but I don't have a lot of things on my desk, but if I did, I mean, you could put other things in there. You could put your tools in there. Let's see, there you go. You put your Cricut tool or whatever. Anything you want to put in there, you know, that you might want to caddy along. But one thing that I found that was really cool is this is a phone grip, basically, you know, that you pop up for the back of your phone, and this is from the dollar store, not an expensive one, but I like to carry mine around or move it, my little stand, from place to place. Oh, also pens, of course, you could put pens in there, guys. So, you know, I mean, if you have ink pens or whatever. But so anyway, they're selling those. I haven't, they're pretty readily available, but they're pretty cool. So anyway, take your phone grip, and all you do on that is you peel off the back, the seal, because it's sticky on the back, and this little top part right here, just stick that on there. And I did put it on that straight, but you know, just make sure it's down, and it kind of pops up. And then you have a little grip on there, so that when you're going from place to place, or if you've got your pens or your ink, or you're moving it, you can just take it and move it from place to place. So that's just a little tip for you, if you can get your hands on those, because I think they're really cool for $1 or $1.25 now. But anyway, I was going to put a few of these on my desk, and I may still, I'm not sure yet, but I don't like to have a ton of things on my desk, so we'll see if it makes the cut. But I do have one next to my sink where when after I wash my brushes, I just let them sit there on top of the little drain thing. So that's pretty much it. I don't really have any other big tips. The only thing I will have to say that I have learned from this whole process is you want to make sure that you, before you micro organize, and I'm kind of in the micro organizing, which you want to do the big organizing first. You want to put like things in like places. If you can take everything out of your room, that's great, or most things out. And then, you know, put things in piles or put them in boxes, you know, different parts of another room or the hall or something, and get everything kind of grouped together, and then kind of figure out the zones of where you're going to put it, because we talked about that in my other video. You know, put the things you use the most, of course, close to you, and then further out, and then and the things you want close to you that you can't, because you obviously you have limited real estate, you know, put it on movable carts so you can move them close to you. But ultimately, you want to do the big things first, because if you get into the little micro organizing, like the things I showed you here, you know, that's more of the micro going in there and, you know, getting down to the nitty gritty organizing. You'll go nuts. You really have to just kind of get things in zone and put things away. And then, as I talked about in my other video, organize for how you craft, not organize to organize, because I know that there's only a certain amount of organizing that I need to do, because there's, you know, how do I craft? How am I going to use it? Just like the ribbons, I'm not going to take them off the wall and do it. I'm not going to go over there and measure and take my piece. I'm a grabber. I take stuff, you know, like I showed you my lace. It's basically in little trays that I can take out, that I can just dig through it and find it. But you have to organize and put things the way that you use them, obviously. But the micro organizing part of it, you know, you don't want to get into that before you divide everything all up and put it, you know, in zones and figure out where in the room it's going to be. That's the most important thing. The other little organizing, actually, I think is way easier. So, you know, just make sure that you're getting that, you know, the big zone thing figured out first, and putting like things in like places. And I will tell you, when you do that, I was in shock at how many things that I had that were multiple, or how many things that I know that I had but I couldn't figure out where the heck they were. And then finally, when I rallied it all together, like, I don't know, I had those Tim Holtz, you know, picture frames, and I have so many picture frames, guys, because I would need one or two, and then I couldn't find the ones I bought, or I'd buy them and I'd stick them somewhere and I couldn't figure out where they were. I have a lifetime supply now, because I found all of them and I have a lot. So, you know, it does, I think it saves you money in the long run to, you know, if you can just make sure you put like things together instead of just where they fit. Because I'm telling you, the just where they fit thing, that is a recipe for disaster. And sometimes what happens is you may be pretty organized, and then you buy more things, and then you put them where they fit. So if you know that there's certain things that you're going to buy more of, try and, when you're organizing, leave room for that, or at least take things out you're not using. And then because otherwise, once you start doing that where it fits things, it's going to be a disaster. Anyway, so I will see you guys. I'll probably post a video with the full craft room tour in about a day or two, because I've got to just do a couple more things, and then hopefully I'll be back on a regular, you know, schedule again, because I finally can find things. I just could not work in my craft room, guys. It was just such a disaster. I didn't like coming in here. It was just awful. I couldn't do it. I just could not do it. So I'm hoping that now I will be able to be more productive, and I certainly love sitting in this room more, let me tell you. And it's not that I didn't love crafting and everything, but when you get to the point where you can't find anything, when you spend more time looking for things than you do crafting, then it's time, you know, it's time. All right, so take care. I'll see you soon, and I hope everybody is staying happy and healthy. And, you know, hopefully this helped some people out. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you want, and comment to enter in my next giveaway. If you're a subscriber and you comment, I have giveaways all the time. I'm getting very close to hitting 3,000. I'm going to have a big giveaway for that. So just, you know, be a subscriber and comment and you are entered. I will see you again soon, guys. Bye.